Week 8. Let's do it.
I hear you talking opinions, but where your facts at? I think it's time that we pull up and do a fact check. Hung again, we calling you to the circle. I'm tired of hearing the bull. I'm questioning your discernment, yeah. Like how you question the people that's really earned it, the people that's really working. Type of stuff for the circus. I only move with a purpose.
Yo, welcome to the Bible Word Podcast. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself? It's week 8.
Man, it is week 8. It was a great week of football. And you know what? More than a great week of football, it was a great week for sports, period.
Definitely.
Obviously, we know the NBA season start. We're going to get into that real quick. But before we do that, I want to do a couple things here because I do have someone already on the actual line on hold. So we want to get to him because he has carved out a little of his time to actually be with us. And I definitely want to capitalize on this opportunity to get him on camera. First thing first, I want to do those. I want to shout out to our actual sponsor, Sean P. McKee LLC, Lawn and Pressure Washing Service, operating out of Birmingham, Alabama and surrounding areas. Get in contact with Sean and his crew at 470-599-0296. That's Sean P. McKee, operating out of Birmingham, Alabama, and you can reach him for all your lawn care and pressure washing services, and he can be reached at 470-599-0296. Reach out to Sean. Him and his team, they'll take care of you guys, all right? Hey, so we talked about sponsors here, and now what I want to do is I want to go ahead real quick and I want to get a good buddy of mine on the actual line. I'm going to introduce Dorian Lee. He is the founder of B-Ball 101, a player development coach, both domestically and internationally, and they're operating based out of Atlanta, GA. So I'm going to go ahead and get Dorian on the phone here. Let me see if I got him. Hey, Dorian Lee, you there, buddy?
I am here. I am here.
What's going on, man? How you been doing?
Man, doing wonderful, man. Doing wonderful. Just having fun here in Atlanta, getting ready for this long NBA season, man, and ready to talk about it, brother.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, let me tell you something. I'm excited and I'm ready for the NBA season. There's a lot to talk about, and we're going to jump right into it. I know you carved out a little time for me, and we're not going to keep you long. If I can get you for like 5 or 10 minutes to touch on a couple basketball-related topics, that would be great.
You got me, man. You got me. Shoot.
All right, let's do this. First thing I want to do is I want to ask you a quick question here. Let's see here. What exactly... as the NBA season starts, what exactly are you most looking forward to? Which storyline you think is going to carry the NBA this particular season?
You know, it's so many of them. For me, I want to see, with the type of movement in the league, free agency, the trades, which team can gel quickly enough and can sustain throughout the year. Phoenix is an interesting team, right? And I don't know if with the stars that they've compiled that they can continue to play for the entire season a winning brand of basketball. All three are used to kind of you go, I go, my turn, your turn type of basketball. And for me, man, I want to see, can somebody in the mix sacrifice themselves enough to win a championship. But I think we all know basketball is a game of habits, and I think it's very difficult to get away from some of those habits as you get into the thick of things. I think we always revert back to our habits. So I'm very interested in seeing how Phoenix plays. I'm interested in seeing Boston, and very, very interested to see if Milwaukee can capitalize on Dame being set free out of Portland. So,
I just checked the stats, and Dame has 21 right now.
Are you 21 tonight?
Yeah, he got 21 already.
Yeah, Dame going to put up numbers. I don't think his offensive output is going to be a problem. Yeah. I do think, as Dorian mentioned, is going to be finding that way where his offensive output and him getting his numbers is not going to take away exactly from everything Giannis brings to the table.
Right.
But I quickly, I want to go back to Phoenix here because Phoenix is a team that I paid a lot of attention to. I'm a big fan of Devin Booker. Okay. You know, Devin Booker went right there to Moss Point, right there in South Mississippi.
Yeah.
So I know
I played against his dad in high school, so it's a little backstory. I think, if I'm remembering correctly, I still got the clippings. I think he had 30, I had like 22, 23, something like that.
Okay.
And we played against each other, and so I knew of Devin for a while. Didn't know it was Melvin's son until I started watching him play, and I said, either that's his son, because they don't look alike.
Okay.
either that's his son or it's his nephew or something. But when I started seeing that pro skill set in high school, I was like, more than likely that's his son.
Okay. Devin Booker, the reason I like his game is because he has a very controlled game on the field, on the court rather. He never seems like he's out of control or like he's moving at a speed that's not the speed that he wants to move at. And I like the way he approaches his game. Okay. But the Phoenix, they got rid of the point guard, right? Chris Paul.
They got rid of Chris Paul and got Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal. Okay, I was trying to piece together who was going to be that third part of the actual big three now.
And they got rid of DeAndre Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton, yeah. But
Boom.
I don't think they really lost much there. DeAndre Ayton, I mean, like I said, he had some good years, but I think he regressed, especially when more offensive talented people came in that needed the ball in their hands. And I saw him regress a little bit. But of the big three that they have right now, who do you think, if you think anyone is going to have to, who do you think is going to take that step down with actual offensive output? I don't really see KD. Well, I don't see KD doing it. I don't see Booker doing it because I think those people, that's what they're known for. But the thing about it is, Bill was always known as an offensive talent first, in my opinion, unless I'm incorrect there.
Yeah, but he was.
Look,
go ahead.
No, my bad. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that we have to remember that Bradley Beal was playing up behind John Wall at one point back when he was playing with the Wizards. So after John Wall left, Bradley Beal got a shine, but Bradley Beal, he already knows how to play the background. So that's why I think Bradley Beal might be the best option to kind of play the background because we already know that Bradley Beal can go out and get you 13, 15 or whatever you need, and he's not going to feel any type of way about it because he's already getting his coins, he's already getting his chips. He just want to go out there and play winning basketball. So
I agree. You might be right with that. You got an opinion on that, D?
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I think because y'all young people, the old man is the one. The old man is the one that's going to go take the back seat, man. KD's been there. KD's season production will be down, rightfully so. I think he'll turn it up a notch if he can reach the playoffs healthy. But I think he's going to let the young boys eat. The young boys need that rhythm. They need that level of confidence. I don't think KD needs that. He's been there, done that. And if he's matured the way that I think he's matured, I think he'll be the one that takes the back seat.
Okay, so this is the first time we're going to disagree live on air. I know we disagree all the times via text message and via posts online, but we're going to disagree with this one for everyone actually here. I think you're wrong on the KD thing. Let me tell you why. I don't think KD has ever taken a back seat to anyone in his playing life. Period, point blank, the end. Even when he went to Golden State, that was an established championship team and championship roster. He was the best player on that team, even though it was still Curry's team. It was never not Curry's team, but Curry was not the most dominant player or the best player on that team. In my personal opinion, I still think KD went to Golden State and still stepped in the front spot. He didn't take a back seat. Right. Now, obviously, his talent's set, and these are years later. So I don't know if you're saying he's willing to take a back seat. You mentioned his age, being an older player. So I don't know. Maybe you're saying his ability. Are you implying, D, that his ability is slipping? That's why he's taking a back seat.
Tiger, listen to me. He's gonna take a back seat, and then hit the other thing. I think you forgot that the dude took a back seat to Westbrook. Westbrook made him take a back seat.
Okay, that's different.
see, when you deal with alpha males, man, Westbrook, again, I like his energy. Like, Westbrook's not the brightest guy, whatever, but he is an absolute alpha dog.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
KD has the trappings of an alpha. He has all of the talent of a shark, an alpha. But when you get another alpha around him, right? He's a little different. Devin is an alpha now. He has grown into that role. He is taking a back seat. Number one, he got to because he ain't at Devin's level anymore.
All right.
So look, I get what you're saying. My thing is age. KD, what, 35 this year, bro?
I don't know. Maybe.
Is he that that close to LeBron?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
He may be. And you may be right. Time will tell. Time will tell. So we're going to look. I don't want to get stuck on that. I don't want to get stuck on that particular team because there's a lot more about basketball I want to talk to you about. And we're already running on 10 minutes. So I know you're commuting from your latest training session. So hopefully we can get a couple more minutes of your time. But I want to give you another storyline here that I want to talk about. And this storyline may irritate you a little bit because I know you're not the biggest LeBron fan. But real briefly, do you think LeBron's body is going to hold up this year and he's going to be able to make it through the entire season healthy? That's my biggest concern about LeBron. I don't really know if the Lakers are going to make any noise. There's a lot of talent across the league, a lot of young talent, but I'm curious whether his body will even hold up, because I think right now, more than playing for championships, and this is going to just feed into your LeBron hate because I know you have it, but more than his actual desire to win a championship, I think he's hanging around and play with his son. Is his body going to hold up another full season?
Make it.
Well, it depends. Like, I don't think it's me saying this. I think it's documented. It's historically apparent. If he's in a playoff hunt, his body going to hold up. Oh. If he's not in a playoff hunt, he's going to be hurt. That's just the nature.
Okay.
It's the nature of the beast, man. I mean, one thing about LeBron, I never disliked. I think LeBron, and people can laugh at this, thinking that this is a knock. But when you talk about, he's definitely top 10. Mm-hmm. He's arguably top 5. Mm-hmm. Right? And some other players that I will always have ahead of him. Mm-hmm. For a variety of reasons, just like I will always have some players ahead of Kobe for a variety of reasons. Mm-hmm. But that one thing about LeBron that I will absolutely applaud, and this is not a basketball-related thing, even though it is.
Okay.
He has an incredible power, 48 laws of power, because it's 2 laws that he has adhered to throughout his entire career. But at the end of the day, he knows how to control the narrative. So the narrative he will control. So if they don't look like they're gonna do anything, yeah, he gonna be hurt probably 60 games in.
Okay.
if they're in a playoff hunt, right? He might have the miraculous super speed healing he had last year. Once they were out of the playoffs and they got back in it, and he was back ready to play.
Got you.
They did say that LeBron is going to be on minute restrictions this year. I think they're limiting him to like 30 minutes a game or something like that.
Yeah, I think minute restrictions is definitely probably smart for LeBron. LeBron, if I'm not mistaken, has recently been crowned as the oldest player in the league. I don't know exactly if there's anybody older than him in the league right now.
I don't know.
I think he has. Don't quote me on that, though. But I do want to real quickly mention and get your opinion on this, because I know you're a stickler for the rules, Dorian, and the rules of basketball. And if I'm not mistaken, basketball recently, or the NBA recently promoted or announced an attempt to kind of crack down on the, what's that?
Flopping.
No, not flopping. Not playing. The
load management.
Load management. Did you read up on the particulars of that rule, and what's your opinion on that?
My rule, generally speaking, so I'm not getting into any level of specificity, but at the end of the day, this is a product. We can't get around. It doesn't matter if it's a human commodity or whatever. Fans pay salaries. Fans want to see players play.
Agreed.
If you are not injured, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about player liberation. I don't care about any of this. You are still a W-2 wage earner.
Okay.
Now, a different one, a higher paid one at the same time. But let me ask y'all, if you work a job,
come on now.
Every time you got a nick, like, man, I don't really feel like coming in today. Let me just sit this one out. At some point in time, it starts to hurt the product. It starts to hurt the brand if everybody is doing it.
I agree.
And so you got to think about somebody like you, Tiger, Kyle, you got kids. If you got somebody, you are right. Some people have saved up years to go take their child to go see their favorite player, and that night he's sipping wine on the bench.
Yeah.
With his teammates. It's just not a good look for the league.
So
with his ankles.
So you got an opinion on that, Kyle, before I move forward?
No, I definitely think players need to play. I think you should only sit unless you're hurt. But like load management, I think it's BS. I mean, we all know that. Who started that? What was his name? Kawhi Leonard.
Popovich.
Yeah.
Popovich.
With Kawhi.
Yeah, with Kawhi. So we all know where it started from. But I mean.
No, it started before then. It started with Tim Duncan, Ginobili, and Tony Parker.
Well,
and
what
he was doing, this was years ago. This was when they were. He wasn't gonna play them late games when they were heading into the playoffs, and he got some heat, but he started it.
Yeah.
And then of course it was more pronounced because of Kawhi's situation. But the load management started with Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker.
Wasn't that when they said they saw him in like the airport, the players in the airport, like eating Burger King or something like that, the same day of the game or something like that? I think I've seen that. I think I heard this story on I think it was on ESPN or something. But someone told me that story. They told me that story. That's kind of where that came from. So you kind of jogged my memory with that. So that does make sense when you say Popovich.
Popovich. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that it started with Popovich because that had to be where Kawhi picked it up. Kawhi probably was like, because a young Kawhi
I can chill.
was probably like, hold up, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
But the league is trying to make
Stressed
a
out.
crackdown on it. I don't know the specifics of the rule, and don't quote me on all the specifics, but I think they're only like targeting people that are all stars. Like if you're an all-star player, and if you take off like 2 consecutive games, then it becomes problematic and you can get a penalty. But you have to be a certain caliber of player,
If you
and I
sell
think
tickets
that's where
pretty
you
much.
kind of that's where you could run into problems. I'm interested to see exactly how it plays out, but obviously the NBA Players Union had to agree to it, or they had to come to some type of compromise. I'm sure they got something in exchange for agreeing to the load management rule, but I just wanted to get your opinion on that. Now, Dorian, I'm gonna let you go here real quick, but I'm not letting you go before we have this conversation. This is a conversation a long time coming between me and you, okay? And we've had the
You're not really ready for it, so we don't really need to. We probably don't need to have it.
No. We gonna have
really
it.
ready for it.
No, we gonna have it, and
Yeah,
I want to
okay.
have it because I have another 3E representative that's watching right now, Murray Hall, 3rd floor. You know what it is, and he's watching right now. And I'm gonna ask him the same question after I let you go because I'm gonna get him on. But real quickly, who exactly are you going to identify as the greatest of all time? And before you go straight to the greatest of all time, name a couple people that are in the runnings, maybe your top 3 or 4. Let's do top 5 if you can even go that deep in your bag. I think you got a deep bag. You can handle top 5. Top 5, and
Yeah.
give me the actual go. And I'll let you go first.
Okay, so in the GOAT conversation, it's really two categories of GOAT.
Okay.
So there's a GOAT and a BOAT. So the BOAT is the best player of all time, right?
Yeah.
Best of all time. A GOAT is the greatest of all time. Greatness and best aren't always synonymous. We know for a fact that Tupac is not the greatest lyricist as a rapper ever, but he's arguably the greatest rapper of all time,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So when we look at say LeBron James, by no stretch of the imagination has he not had the greatest statistical longevity career of all time. I mean, it's only 3 people in that conversation. It's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or 4 really. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Okay, you good?
LeBron James,
You good?
Karl Malone from a statistical standpoint, and Moses Malone. When you start looking at those guys, then you start saying, damn, body of work, rebounds, points, man, accolades, like it's crazy.
What about Bill?
But when we start looking at the best player, greatest player, greatest impact, greatest separation amongst his peers,
Okay.
it's only two people you can converse about. That's Wilt and Jordan. They were that far ahead of their peers, right?
Okay.
And Michael Jordan, a 10-time scoring champ in a league. Now, remember, we love to do these really bad and in poor taste comments like with plumbers and this and that. I can run down the list of how good of a league the NBA was when he led it in scoring. He led the league in scoring, remember, when Penny Hardaway, Grant Hills, Tracy McGrady's were in the league.
Yeah. Agreed.
So Shaq's were in the league. Kobe's were in the league. Kevin Garnett. So it's not like he didn't overlap some of the new wave generational, talent, right?
Okay.
He overlapped and he still did it. But in terms of dominance, skill set, athleticism, impact on the game, growth of revenue, making the NBA an international brand, not just off marketing, but off of his ability to deliver at every single juncture.
Land the plane.
Jordan is the greatest player who has ever lived, and I'm gonna make a just simple analogy. All Christians will probably be mad at me, but people always say, "Oh man, can't nobody be better." Look, if it's one Jesus, why can't it be one Michael Jordan? It is what it is.
It is what it is. Okay, Kyle, you have any opinion on that? Hey, real quick, before I get your opinion on that, no, Kyle, let me get your opinion because I want to say something else, and I want to see exactly Dorian has a rebut before a rebut to what I say before I let him go. Go ahead. What do you? Who's the GOAT? Go straight to the GOAT for me real quick because I'm gonna go ahead and wrap him up. He's been on a long kind of while phone.
So, as I was younger, I grew up watching Michael Jordan, so he was definitely my favorite player. And then you get into the league, and then you get the LeBron. So it's kind of tough to say who the GOAT is when you kind of watch both. Michael Jordan is definitely, the greatest player that I've seen. But then it's just like you have LeBron, who's also a great player in what he does as well. I would say, in my opinion, I think LeBron has kind of eclipsed Jordan in a sense just because I think LeBron has done it for I guess a span of over years. It's just like I feel like he's done it consistently for a long period of time and at a high level. So that's why I say LeBron is where he's at as being the GOAT as of right now.
Hey, Dorian, you got to excuse my co-host. He's not really a very insightful basketball person. No, real quick, I'm going to be brief. Jordan's the GOAT. The fact that it's up for debate is kind of wild to me. Jordan has always been the GOAT. Me and Dorian, we debate on this topic. We've debated on this topic before. We don't do it all the time, but we have debated on this topic before. I think sometimes he leaves the conversation thinking I think otherwise. It's not that I think Jordan's not the GOAT. I just think LeBron doesn't get enough credit for what he does. So I kind of want to agree with both of you guys, but Jordan is the GOAT. LeBron is extremely talented. He plays at a high clip. He's done it for a long time, and he's did everything with very high expectations. So you have to actually higher expectations than when Jordan came in the actual league. LeBron's expectations were kind of out of this world, and he actually pulled it off, and he's still doing it. In breaking records. Couple things. You said Wilt Chamberlain. It's hard for me to put Wilt Chamberlain in the conversation. If you put Wilt Chamberlain in the conversation, then I have to put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the conversation. You didn't say it. You didn't mention Kobe, and thank God you didn't, because I was ready to rip you if you would have brought Kobe even into this conversation. It bothers me when people bring Kobe's name up in this conversation. Kobe cannot be the GOAT. He cannot be in the topic about being the GOAT, and I'm saying it for anyone who wants to hear and debate me about it. He can't be in the conversation, and I'm not a Kobe hater. I just don't like when people try to bring Kobe in the conversation because you cannot be a GOAT if you were not even the best player on 3 of your championships teams. Shaq was the finals MVP.
I'm gonna say even besides that, here it is. You're right. Shaq wasn't. Or he wasn't when Shaq was on the team. Whatever the case may be. What's even the easier way to put it is, if the 2.0 of something isn't better than the 1.0, you can't be the GOAT.
Facts. That's a very simple and profound way to put it. Hey, D, I appreciate you giving me a call, brother. I'd love to get you back on another time in the future. Real quick, for anybody watching, tell them how they can get in contact with you for player development in the ATL area.
Look, I'm on Instagram, bball101EPD for elite player development, bball101EPD, bball101.com. And look, man, follow the page. Get a chance to learn a little bit about basketball if you got the time.
Hey, man, I appreciate you calling in, brother. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Perfect. Thank you for calling.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, get our next call on the phone here real quick. He should be dialing in a moment. While we're waiting for him to get on, hey, man, I'm telling you, guy has a very, very extremely knowledgeable about the game of basketball. He played it at the collegiate level at a very, very high clip. I've seen it myself, and he's been training professional players, for the longest time. So he's definitely very knowledgeable about the game of basketball and sports, period.
I enjoyed it.
All right. Let's go ahead and get our next call on the phone here real quick.
What we got?
We got Slim on the phone. Slim, you there? Can you hear me?
Man, I got my shades on, man. I'm here. How you guys doing?
Hey, what's going on with you, brother? You doing all right?
Man, I'm doing well, man.
Hey, you got an echo in the background. Could you turn it, whatever you're watching, down a little bit just so we don't have that feedback coming across?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Perfect. Hey, why don't you go ahead and chime in here on this NBA GOAT conversation? I know you're watching. Who's the GOAT?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, I just heard all this blasphemy across America. I know they heard it. Shout out to Kobe Bryant. I'm going to represent Laker Nation.
Okay.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant's the GOAT?
I said Kobe Bryant. You ask any kid in America right now who he wants to be, they don't say LeBron James. They don't. They say Kobe Bryant. They say Kobe Bryant. What are we talking about now? Are we talking about playing? Or are we talking about all these other things?
Hey, you're doing what a lot of people do.
We're talking about playing now. We're talking to guys that don't watch the game. Let's talk about playing. Kobe Bryant will eat LeBron's lunch, one-on-one, size and all. We know this. Now let's get to the GOAT.
Okay.
So-called GOAT, which is Michael Jordan, which this guy's Kobe Bryant game is patent alpha.
Okay. So you saying Michael Jordan is the GOAT. The Michael Jordan's the GOAT, in your opinion, just so I'm clear, because I could have sworn you was about to say Kobe Bryant was the GOAT. But you're not saying Kobe Bryant's the GOAT. You're just saying Kobe Bryant's better than LeBron.
Who is his name? Anthony Bird. Was he the guy that had the glove that slapped the guy across the face?
I think so, yeah.
Challenged him to a duel. I'm challenging Michael Jordan to a duel with Kobe Bryant. That's what I'm basically saying. If you guys are calling him the GOAT, we're at the game right now. Basically, all I see is a stalemate. I see a stalemate on this issue. If we're talking about purely playing one-on-one, not all these other things in basketball. Now, nobody's been as epic business-wise as LeBron or Michael internationally. No, but is that basketball? I thought we were talking about putting the ball in the basket.
Hey, listen, first of all, you're talking about one-on-one. We ain't talking about one-on-one either. That's not it. The NBA. You can't rank an NBA player on one-on-one. If that's the case, you could never put.
We're talking about the greatest of all time. The game is going to come down to us going onto the court. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that's one opinion. I can't roll with it though.
I guess it's
gonna
tough
come down to a one-on-one game.
I think
because
it's tough.
Michael Jordan's gonna get tired of talking, and if Kobe Bryant was here, he's gonna get tired of talking, and it's gonna say, "Hey, check ball." And that's what it's gonna come down to.
All right, one person. So, are you saying Kobe or are you saying Jordan? You got to decide which one.
I'm saying Kobe Bryant.
You're saying Kobe. Okay. Kobe. All right. You have any response to that? We're gonna move past this conversation. We get stuck here all night. I can tell you.
I guess my
Shout
thing.
out to Dorian Lee. That was a great caller, by the way.
Definitely.
You know, D. Lee, a 3E representative, right? I know you know that.
Definitely.
Okay.
I think what it boils down to is, I guess, figuring out, what are the parameters of what we're basing the GOAT on. Because I feel like when we discuss the GOAT topic, everybody has in their own mind what their idea of what the GOAT is, but I'm sure in the back of their head they have stipulations of what this player needs to meet for them to be considered a GOAT.
5-on-5 game going on when y'all saying the GOAT conversation. Y'all got Michael Jordan's team versus whoever's team.
Oh, for sure.
It depends on the team. It depends on the team. It depends on the team. I won't say just because Jordan on the team will win. But
LeBron did it with, what is it, 3 different teams?
Yeah, but I really think.
And by the way, Jordan. Kobe won a championship without a superstar. You might consider Paul Gasol a superstar, but come on, man.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Come on, man. Come on, be real. Give my man his flowers.
Hey, listen, I'm giving Kobe his flowers. People think just because I point out that little thing about Shaq being the MVP and the best player on 3 of Kobe's championships, that's Kobe hate. That's not Kobe hate. That's just identifying what Shaq was at that time in his career and how dominant he was.
Iguodala did it with Golden State. Didn't Iguodala get the MVP that one?
Shaquille O'Neal. He's probably like the 10th wonder of the world.
Nah, for real though. He definitely is.
Facts. Hey, let's move into another topic before we get stuck here, Slim. That's okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and get into some football here. We want to go ahead and start with the Dolphins. The Dolphins actually took an L this week. The Dolphins took an L against the
Eagles.
The Eagles. The Dolphins took L against the Eagles. So the Dolphins, are they all glitz and no glam? What's going on? The Dolphins flying really high, especially when they put that big win over the Broncos and put a 50 spot on the Broncos. But it looks like that may have been fool's gold. What do you think?
You saw Tyreek Hill in the end zone flopping around like a dead fish. That tells me everything I need to know.
Look, everybody, you've heard this number and this stat all over sports media if you've been paying attention this week after this loss. The Dolphins, I think they're 5-2 now.
Yes.
The 5 teams that they've won have a combined record of 8-25. The so trash teams. All right, I don't think any of those teams of the 5 teams that they actually have wins against this season have more than 2 wins so far. The 2 teams that actually seem to be top tier teams, the Bills and the Eagles, they took big L's. So it seems like the Dolphins may have just been the recipients of good scheduling early in the year. What do you think, Kyle?
It could be. We can't. I guess we can't bypass the fact that the Dolphins has a good offense, but it's just once they like you're saying, once they get up with these actual good teams who actually have like a strong offense, it doesn't compare to the defense that they're putting out, that they're going against. So I don't know. I won't say that the Dolphins are a bad team. I just think they met a better matchup at this, in the moment in their schedule. Do I think they'll suffer more losses? For sure. Do I think that their season will end with I guess a negative record? I don't believe so. I think they'll just go back, make some adjustments, try and figure out what they got to do on defense, and just try and I guess do like what the Rockets do, try and score as many points as you can, just in case your defense can't hold up.
What do you think, Sloan?
I think they're all glitz and no glam.
I know you're talking.
At some point, you got to pull your big boy pants up, man, and play some defense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to come down to in the playoffs. You're going to have to, the Philadelphia Eagles did the tush push on them 4 times, man.
Yeah.
I would have did it the whole game.
No, facts.
You see what I'm saying? So, but no, I think there's a lot of glitz and no glam with the Dolphins, man.
Numbers-wise, obviously, the Dolphins are one of the highest scoring, has some of the highest offensive output. But on the defensive side, I think they're ranked number 6 in the bottom 6 in overall defense. Garbage. So clearly, that's what the deficiency on that team is on the defensive side of the ball. And that's not going to go away. You can't really fix defensive discrepancies like mid-season like that, like on the fly. That's something that has to really
be not against a good team.
Yeah, that's something that has to be really taken care of. Now, I'm not saying the Dolphins are done. I'm just saying it doesn't look good. When all of your wins are against unproven teams, and the 2 times you had a chance to kind of step up to some real competition, you faltered, I think it just looks bad overall. So I think the jury's still out. I'm not saying they're all glitz and no glam. I will say, though, I haven't seen it yet. I'm still waiting for them to step up against some quality competition and make a show of it.
Agreed.
All right, we're going to go to the next topic here. This next topic, Kyle, you brought it up here. And I said, what, that's a good point, because we're going to talk about this. Let's talk about it. So the topic here is Tyrod Taylor made history against the Commanders. Tyrod Taylor is the fill-in quarterback for Daniel Jones with the New York Giants. And I think he made his second start this week, correct?
I want to say it's a first start, because I want to say the week before, didn't they just kind of take Daniel Jones out?
I thought he started that game against the
It's his second start.
Second start? Okay, cool.
He started last week against the Bills, correct?
That's
yes,
right.
he started against the Bills. So this is his second start this season, and he actually made history with the Giants. The history that he made, Kyle, you want to go into it?
Yeah, so the history that he made was this is the first win for the Giants being led by a black quarterback. So I think that's pretty dope, and I thought that we should definitely talk about that and kind of give him his big one up for that, because, making history, and especially making history as a black man, especially being in, what year are we in? 2023. I think that's dope. It's kind of sad that we're still making history as black people, but, it is what it is.
Listen, I'm glad you said that. And real quick, before I let you jump in here, Slum, you may not have seen it last week. I know you were watching, but we had some technical difficulties, so you may not have seen the entire show. On the actual show last week, we had a segment called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. We were talking about 3 quarterbacks, identifying one is good, one is bad, and one was ugly. And Tyrod Hill was mentioned as bad. He was mentioned as bad because of the poor decision making he had going into halftime of the Bills game. Slim, did you see that by chance?
Yes, I watched the game.
Okay, so that decision, it was just a tough decision, and I don't really think the team ever really bounced back from it, especially after the coach kind of going into the actual locker room after you made. For those who didn't watch, going into halftime, the Giants were at maybe the 1 yard line. They were about to punch in for another touchdown. Worst case scenario, they would have actually kicked for another field goal. They had a play, and Tyrod Taylor was under center about to hike the ball. I guess he saw something on the defense he did not like, so he audibled out of the play. Well, he audibled into a run, ran the ball. They got stuffed. Time ran out. They didn't get a chance to get the field goal kickoff, so they left points on the actual table. So it was just a bonehead play. But the team never really bounced back from it. So since we actually mentioned him last week in a negative light, with him making history this week, I think it was only right for us to mention him as well. And I agree with Kyle. It's wild that in 2023 we're still saying the first black person to do anything. Go ahead, Slum.
Okay, yeah, man. I actually watched the game, man. My whole thing at the end of that was right before halftime was at one.
This
point,
last week's game, though, right? You're talking about last week's game. Okay, go ahead.
Bills, last week's game. Why even send that play in? I mean, he's the backup. It's a clutch. It's a big game. Why even give him that option to call that audible?
Yeah.
You know, so I thought that should have been on Brian Dable. But here, honestly, Tyrod Taylor, since he's become the starting quarterback for the New York Giants, they're totally playing better.
They are.
Mm-hmm. They got 2 wins. If Darren Waller is a total different player, it's like he's finally there for a change. They finally realized they got him on the team.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you're a New York Giants fan, shout out to the Cowboys. But if you're a New York Giants fan, you should be proud of how Tyrod Taylor has showed up and showed out for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You guys got a buzz in the city.
So now you have a question to make, though. When Jones is healthy and he's ready to come back, you know, I mean, they weren't really playing great with him. It seems like the team is kind of.
It's an easy answer.
What's the answer?
I gave him $40 million, man. He playing.
You going back with Daniel?
Easy answer.
Shit.
Got to.
$40 million, you can lose your job. He can have $40 million. That don't guarantee the coach his job if he keep putting up L's. If I'm a coach, I'm putting up the player that gives me the best chance to win, because regardless, that's a GM's problem.
Yeah,
a GM's problem is that I gave him $40 million for the sit on the sideline. It's not a head coach's problem. A head coach's problem is getting these W's, because you're not going to be judged. The person who's judged poorly on that decision, paying that much money for a quarterback that's not producing, it's a GM. The coach is going to be judged poorly on not winning. So it's up to the coach to actually get W's. I think the coach has a tough decision to make, but he will get pressure from the GM, because the GM doesn't want that to look poorly on him. The GM is going to try to get Jones back on the field as quickly as possible, but the coach needs to stand his ground. What you think, Kyle?
The coach has to coach, and the coach has to keep his job as well.
Exactly.
So, hey, if it's on the GM that he might have wasted this $40 million, I don't know what you got to do about that, but you better get him in the on the field with Tyrod in practice and have him taking pointers from Tyrod or something. But
I agree.
they got to figure that out if you want to put him back in the game. But go ahead.
Remember, Tyrod was going to be the starter for San Diego before something weird happened to him. Remember,
yes.
Like,
did he get injured or something, or?
Man, the doctor ended up puncturing his lung. He ended up suing the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, he ended up, he got some. He always catch an injury.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of injury prone. It's been like that's his whole career.
Yeah.
But either way, he was going to be the starter up there, man. Before that happened, and that's how your boy Herbert got his opportunity.
And look at Herbert.
Fast forward now, here it is. Daniel Jones goes down. They call Tyrod Taylor, and I'm gonna say this: Tyrod is doing what Tyrod's supposed to do.
Come on.
He's a backup.
Yes.
Come on.
You got to be ready.
So
and he's winning.
Yep. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. So when that starter gets well, that starter's gonna get the opportunity, bro.
And they're good. I think they're going to see the team start doing a lot better, because it's like they have a resurgence. It's like someone put a battery in their back, where it's just like, okay, we got a couple wins. We got a quarterback who's actually doing what we need to do. The line feels like they actually need to block. They're getting wins. So I think it's going to put batteries in guys' back. You see Saquon out there still doing his thing. He's getting out there, especially, a few weeks ago he just came back from an injury.
Yeah.
So it's just like, they got the pieces. If I was a coach, I would be every game I would be trying to tell Daniel Jones that, hey, just give it another week.
Yeah.
Give it another week. Like,
get healthy. Get 100%.
Get 100% just to give yourself some time.
Deshaun Watson. I mean,
right.
There's ways to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's move to the next topic real quick, brother. All right, now we're going to come here and we're going to talk about Mahomes. Mahomes had a really big game. Chiefs over Chargers. Mahomes was 32 of 42, 424 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, and I think he had some pretty good rushing numbers as well. Did you put your eyes on that game by chance this week, brother?
Man, yes, I did.
What you think about Mahomes and how the Chiefs performed against the Chargers?
Man, it's kind of amazing to see Mahomes do what he do with the player personnel that he has around him.
Mm-hmm.
It really says a lot about what we're actually seeing, bro. But he's 29-3 against his own division.
Yeah, I mean, he owns that division right now. And here's another thing I would say, he had 4 touchdowns. And all 4 touchdowns was with different receivers. Crazy. You said something. He's doing a lot with a lot of talent, because they let Tyreek Hill go. They still have Kelsey, and I'm not trying to downplay exactly how important a piece of the actual puzzle Kelsey is. But for him to have a player like Kelsey and not do pretty much what the quarterback with the Bills does. Josh Allen. Josh Allen focuses on Diggs. Like, he tries to force it into Diggs. Well, Mahomes won't do that. Mahomes will distribute it to the talent that's around him and make the talent better, similar to what Brady did for a number of years with the Patriots. What you think, Kyle?
You got to follow the game plan.
Chiefs done won 6 games in a row, bro.
Yeah, 6 wins
in a row in the NFL.
Unheard of.
Yeah. What you got, Kyle?
No, I think you have to follow the I guess the system that's in place. Like you see what Tom Brady did. You see what great quarterback he is, and what he did with Gronk. So it's just like you literally have the same pieces in a sense. I'm gonna just do the same thing. I mean the system is already out there. I'm just gonna follow the system, do what I need to do. I'm passing to Gronk. I'm gonna get you with these short passes. If I need to throw deep, I can do that. If I need to, if Scatlin is out there or whoever else is out there. But if not, I'm gonna get these short little passes. I'm gonna give it to my running back Pachenko. Let him do some things, and then we go get downfield and score. And then I can run. I can side passes. Do all these different types of passes. So I mean, what I would say what his advantage is he's a mobile quarterback.
Yes.
I mean, he's throwing like Tom Brady, but he's a mobile quarterback, so he has the defense on edge.
He adds a dimension above what Tom Brady
exactly.
has to the table. Now, he has to put up the resume that Tom Brady has.
For sure.
I hate when I see analysts on TV talking about, he's the greatest to ever do it. And
Never
I'm like,
say that.
Calm down. Tom Brady is still, people still know who Tom Brady is.
Exactly.
Like, calm down. But, he had a great game, and he is in a league of his own right now in the actual league. I hate when people attempt to compare Mahomes with other people. I know Mahomes didn't have the biggest start this year. He had what people would say is a slow start. I'm just talking about his numbers, not his actual wins, because the team's doing great.
Right.
But some people were saying that his numbers weren't on par with what he did in previous seasons. But still, he doesn't have to do as much because he's leaning on his team more, and I think that's a smarter way to have a longer career.
Because wasn't the first game of the season, wasn't he going up against a charged up Lions, and then wasn't Kelsey injured that game? Or
I think so.
So, I mean, you got to think about that. I mean, Kelsey was injured that game. I won't say that Kelsey's the whole team, but, I mean, that's a big part of your offense. You can't just deny that. So, I mean, with that being said, and then you get Kelsey back, you got the offense clicking. I mean, it is what it is. But
let me ask you a question, Slim. Is Kelsey slowly putting his name, or quickly, in your opinion, putting his name in an argument for the best tight end of all time? I heard, and let me tell you where I came from that number. I saw someone put a stat up, and I know this is just one stat, but they say he's on pace to have over 130 catches this year.
That's
I'll say
insane.
this, man. The game is so different.
Mm-hmm.
It's so different. Go ahead.
No, you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, the game is so different now. It's like nowadays it's like down said hike, I'm just going to throw it to this guy 12, 14 times, 15 times a game, man. Like 10, 15 years ago, that was unheard of, man.
We're shutting that down.
I see what you're saying.
Like, you might have got 3 attempts, man.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So, according to this new way of stat keeping, and to me, what they call it, just, racking up stats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, according to the stats, he's probably going to go down as the greatest ever. But the eye contest that I remember, Tony Gonzalez.
Big time. One stat that was talked about today on some sports show is that Kelsey has 5 games with over 150 yards receiving, and I think there's only one tight end that has more than 5 games with over 150 yards receiving, and that's Shannon Sharp. So, Kelsey has definitely put up numbers, but like you said, it is a different league. The way offenses are designed now, they're designed a lot more for tight ends to be catchers. I remember early when I was watching football, tight ends were more needed to block. Catch the outside linebacker, slow him up.
That could potentially catch.
Exactly. Right. Now, it may be like a surprise. It was a surprise if they threw it to a tight end. Now, tight ends are prominent parts of offensive schemes. So I definitely think it's hard to really make that determination just from his statistics, because the statistics may not be telling the whole story. But he's definitely a quality player in the league, and he's definitely a security blanket for Patrick Mahomes.
Definitely.
And vice versa. Having a tight end like that is a security blanket for Mahomes. Yeah. Like to get the ball to him.
Lamar Jackson as well. Lamar Jackson does it the same way.
What was it? Mark Andrews, and then what's his name? Kirk Cousins has was it Hawkinson? What's his name?
Oh yes, TJ.
Yeah.
From the Lions.
Hawkinson. Oh yeah. From the Lions. Yeah.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
He's underrated, but he's a beast.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna move forward with the next topic. On the next topic, let's talk about the Bills real quick, man. The Bills took a loss to the Patriots 29-24 this week. I think they were at Gillette Stadium in Boston or in the Boston area. I don't know if that's actually in Boston. But they definitely took a loss to the actual Patriots. Anyone, before I go into what I want to talk about as far as this loss is concerned, does anyone have anything they would like to say about this game and the performance the Bills had?
Go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
I just got to, in today's language, I just got to say SMH.
Shake my head. Hey, listen, here's the thing with the Bills. The Bills, and it's really not a Bills issue. It's a Bills issue. He's their quarterback, Josh Allen. Josh Allen is routinely mentioned as a top-tier quarterback, and I'm trying to still understand why.
I'm with you on this one.
A top-tier quarterback doesn't take these type of L's. A top-tier quarterback doesn't consistently have to get motivated by their wide receiver, and I'm talking about Stephon Diggs, to step up, get in the game, get energized, get hype, and go out there and perform. Stephon Diggs routinely is on the sideline trying to motivate, encourage. I don't know what word you want to use. And some people may think that's not good motivation. I like when I have an energetic, excited teammate who – talk to me. Like, I mean, if you say if I'm messing up, let me know I'm messing up. It's all good. Like, players on teams, especially football teams, have thick skin. Like when analysts talk about you shouldn't talk to your quarterback like that on the sideline. I'm like, man, what do they think? These guys are not, they're not soft like that. I mean, they should be able to take some criticism. Like coaches, especially, coaches say some of the most degrading, aggressive stuff ever to players, and players have to sit there and take it. So it's not like it doesn't happen. It happens. So Josh Allen just seems like he needs too much motivation, and I'm still confused as to why he's consistently considered one of the top quarterbacks in the league. If I had to say, he's barely in the second tier of quarterbacks, if not a third tier quarterback. Now, he has a great team with great talent, so the wins kind of match up, but I just don't see it. And I know sometimes the number may imply that he's a great talent, but I just don't see it, and that's just my opinion on it.
I can understand that. I can understand that point of view. I think with Josh Allen he was like, I keep using this word, but he was a resurgence for the Bills. Like when he came in, he was like this tall quarterback. He was, accurate quarterback at the time. Doing the things that he needed to do. The Bills were starting to win. The defense was starting to come together, and they became a presence in the league, and it just kind of carried over. And now it's just. Now that people have, I guess, in a sense, they got Josh Allen's number, it's just like, okay, we got his number now. Now we know what he is, how he plays. We got him figured out in a sense. And he's not like a Mahomes, like when we discussed, where it's just like, yeah, we know who Mahomes is, but we don't got him figured out in a sense. Like he can still get you this way or get you that way. With Josh Allen, I think he tries to do too much on the field in a sense, where it's just like he tries to make passes that don't need to be made. He tries to run when he doesn't need to run. It's almost like he just needs to kind of take a step back for a minute, kind of assess, his gameplay, and just kind of figure out, I need to get back to where I was, where, I was considered an elite quarterback. I need to kind of figure out, I need to just figure some things out in a sense where it comes to his actual game style and his gameplay. But I won't say that he's a trash quarterback or a low tier quarterback. I just think he's having just a rough year right now.
Okay, what tier you have him on? You have him on who's top tier? Who's a top tier quarterback? Slim, can you give me, if I have to set 3 tiers of quarterbacks, give me one quarterback that finds himself on that top tier.
Oh, I mean, everybody's going to pick Patrick Mahomes.
All right, cool. Kyle, give me one. Give me one on the top tier with Patrick Mahomes, if there's anybody on that top tier.
I got another one.
I feel like I'm biased. I feel like I'm biased, but I would say Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Do you have anybody else on that top tier, Slim?
Trevor Lawrence. Justin
Trevor
Herbert.
Lawrence?
I couldn't put him.
Okay, Trevor Lawrence is having a good season. Okay,
Yeah.
the Jags.
All about processing the game. These guys can process the game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're talking about guys. See, I ain't said Lamar Jackson yet because the processing of the game just got to Lamar Jackson.
I was going to put him in a second tier.
Lamar Jackson should be up there on top tier too.
I would
you know what I'm saying? But as far as processing the game, you got to put Tua up there too.
Listen,
top tier.
Lamar Jackson, I definitely have Lamar Jackson on the top tier with Mahomes. You said Hurts. I can see Hurts being a fringe top tier person. He is not putting up the numbers he put up last year, but like I said in a previous show, that's not necessary for him to do that right now. He has a lot of talent.
Bad coaching.
And A.J. Brown, A.J. Brown's putting up some numbers. So he has a lot of talent around him, so he doesn't have to put up as much with other skills that he has as far as running. I like the kid out of Jacksonville though.
Trevor Lawrence,
but I don't know exactly if he's done enough for me to put him in the top tier.
Trevor Lawrence.
Like, okay, listen. You said Trevor Lawrence.
Controversy.
Hear me out with this one, Slim.
We didn't even say Joe Burrow either. Jeez.
Yeah, we did say Joe Burrow. Hear me out with this one, Slim.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Okay.
Joe Burrow.
Hear me out with this one, Slim, before, and then tell me if you can still put him in the top tier. You say Mahomes in the top tier. Mahomes has multiple championships, Super Bowls. All right. You say Hurts in the top tier, where Hurts he was in the Super Bowl, so we'll give him that. And I think arguably is the highest paid player in the league right now with the contract he signed. If someone didn't eclipse him, I don't think anyone eclipsed him. I don't think anybody eclipsed him yet. And then we have Lamar Jackson in the top tier. Lamar Jackson is one of only 3 MVPs that currently play in the actual league. The MVPs that are currently in the league, Lamar Jackson is one, Aaron Rodgers is one, and who's the third person?
Mahomes?
I think Mahomes. I could be wrong on Mahomes. But there's only 3 MVPs that's even playing in the league, and Lamar Jackson's one of them. What is and I like this kid from Jacksonville, but what has he done? What accomplishments that has he done to put him up there? Yeah, I can see him getting there. I just can't put him there just yet. I think he has to prove a little bit more.
It's almost like, can you see it in C.J. Stroud?
Yeah, I can see it in C.J. Stroud too. But he ain't there yet. He ain't there yet, but I can see it.
Hold on. But you can see it already.
Yeah.
It's the process, and you see, he got it already.
Okay. It's possible. We'll see how it actually goes.
I will say this.
It's going to be a good test. What happened to Malik Willis?
Malik Willis?
See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Got him.
He can't get it. Nice. So now they finna try Will Levitt. Watch Will Levitt get in there and watch he be able to process the game.
Okay. We'll see what happens with that. Let's move to another topic here real quick, Slim. Have you been paying attention to Michigan? We're going to go to college football real quick. Michigan football and the sign still an allegation going on over there right now. It's in the actual news and floating around here. There's a little controversy going on there. Are you in touch with it? Would you like to talk on it a little bit? What you got?
I was right there next to him in line one time. But no, man, I've been paying a lot of attention. Man,
so can you explain exactly? Can you explain exactly what the controversy is? Do you know the ends of the controversy? If not, I can, and then we can talk about it.
Basically, they got a guy, that's a part of the Michigan,
program
staff or alumnus or however they want to jazz it up. And he don't bought tickets to all the games, and he basically sitting there videotaping all the calls on the other sideline.
Exactly.
How he's getting the verbiage, I don't know, maybe, but after you get to this level of conspiracy,
that's wild.
You get all the information, man.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. Go ahead, Kyle. You want to talk about that real quick?
I just think it's wild to actually do that. I mean, he's kind of taking a page out of the New England Patriots book, with the TV on the sideline sense. But, I just think it's wild. Honestly, I don't know how they got caught. I mean, with all those fans out there, it's just like, how did that one person get caught doing something like that? That's what I don't understand. I mean, if you're going to do that, how do you get caught doing something like that,
Yeah.
He got caught.
How?
The other team told on him.
Yeah, somebody talking. Yeah, somebody talked.
Someone has to.
That's the only time. That's the only way you get caught doing something like that. Somebody talked about it, but they said the guy, and I don't know his actual name. I think it starts with S or something like that. Is irrelevant. But the guy, he's on the staff, and he's suspended with pay right now.
Oh man!
So here's my issue I want to talk about, especially with Michigan, because Michigan has a history of coming down pretty hard when they think someone is violating NCAA rules. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, the Final Four banners from the Fab Five are still in storage somewhere on Michigan's campus and not displayed where they should be displayed in the actual gym, because they felt it was an egregious offense for poor kids to actually accept financial compensation for the actual talent, which is now what we call NIL, and everybody does it. But which, once again, is more reason why Bush should get his Heisman back, and those banners should be hung in Michigan in the actual gym. But back to what I was trying to say. Is Michigan going to keep that same energy? It doesn't look like that they kept with the Fab Five as far as, trying to wipe out their actual legacy in college basketball. Not that it's needed, because the Fab Five's legacy is cemented. You don't have to know much about basketball to know who the actual Fab Five was. Most people, especially if you play any kind of basketball, can name the starting five of the Fab Five. That's how important they were to the culture of basketball. But for them to suspend the actual guy who did it and try to act like the actual head coach didn't know anything about it, it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. Why people keep trying to make that implication like the head coach doesn't know everything that's going on? If he stole the calls, if he stole the actual calls or the signals or the plays and traveled to all these actual games and did it, who did he turn this into? He at least turned it into the offensive coordinator, and the offensive coordinator is going to tell the head coach to help, but then allow the head coach to be like, I don't know anything about it. Come on, man.
That's like you getting prime cut steak from old buddy over here for, $15 when you know this steak should be, $60 or whatnot.
You keeping it to yourself.
Yeah, you keeping it to yourself.
Come on,
you know something's wrong here. You know someone's stealing something. So it's just
for Harbaugh to not have any disciplinary issues already, because now if they hadn't suspended the kid or the guy, I don't know if he's a kid, but if they didn't suspend the individual who was accused of doing this, then that's one thing. All right, well you haven't suspended anyone yet. But for you to suspend the kid or suspend the person alleged of doing this and not have any kind of penalty for the actual coaching staff who are the immediate beneficiaries of it,
right?
It just doesn't make sense. What do you think, Slim?
I think you guys have forgotten rule number 1.
What's that?
If you get caught, you are by yourself.
Facts.
We're not telling.
Facts.
And that's what they're displaying right now.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's fair.
Yeah, silence is golden. Silence is golden.
I mean, you got Harbaugh. He just coming through some kind of controversy. The last thing he needs is this right here. So that lets you know where we're at the end line of his career. I mean, his contract there. And then in the midst of Michigan being one of the top teams this year.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
All this comes from chasing Bama.
Yeah, people are
Harbaugh
saying
been chasing Bama.
Yeah, well, everyone's trying to chase Bama and trying to chase the actual top of the actual sport, and college football is so lucrative. So we'll see exactly if they're able to, if any charges stick. But the early part of it looks like if anything does stick, it's going to fall far short from the head coach or the offensive coordinators on that actual staff. They'll have a sacrificial lamb.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to make sure that he doesn't. Someone else is going to fall on that sword for sure.
Yeah. All right, real quick, Slim, I'm going to go back to the NBA and check to see if you saw this game right here. So the first game of the NBA season, well, not the first game of the NBA season. I mean, we're into the NBA season. And the Celtics played the Knicks, if I'm not mistaken. Kristaps Porzingis put up some pretty impressive stats in his debut for the actual Celtics. Did you get a chance to catch that game, and did you have any opinions on his overall performance?
I missed the first half of the game, but I caught the second half of the game.
All right, he put up 30 points.
Some highlights, but I am familiar with Kristaps Porzingis.
Yes.
His career is pretty much injury prone. But when he's available, he's a walking bucket.
Yeah,
I mean, from anything inside the paint, that's money. Free throw line extended, money. Free throw line, free throws extended, all the way to the 3-point line. You got to guard him full court almost. So last night, the kind of stat line that he put up, Julius Randle we should be questioning where Julius Randle at. Julius Randle should be in the gym with Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a fan. I'm not a fan of Kristaps Porzingis, but I gotta give respect where respect due. He definitely got game. Gotta respect his game.
He definitely got game. What do you think? I know you're a big Celtics fan. Did you catch that game?
Yeah, I thought it was a great game just because I like to see how this movement was going to actually work with with Drew being on the team, with Kristaps being on the team, and then Jalen just getting that big contract extension, how their dynamic was going to work. But I'm seeing right now that Kristaps had a great game. Jason had a great game. I was hoping he would have a good game because sometimes Jason he's either hot or cold sometimes. Just like he'll have a good game, then he'll have a bad game. But I was happy to see that he was actually able to have a good game along with Kristaps, this being his Celtic debut. But what kind of bothered me about that game was just Jalen. I just feel like he didn't show up. Also, Drew, I feel like he should have had more assists or something. I don't know what was kind of going on with the game. I know it's his first game with the Celtics. I know there's still some meshing that needs to go on. There's still some gelling that needs to happen. But I don't know. I think if Kristaps, like you're saying, he's injury prone. If he stays healthy for a majority part of the season, I can see a lot of the that second option is going to switch from Jalen and go over to Kristaps. Just based on the numbers. I mean, you putting up 30 points. I mean, putting up 30 points for Jalen, I mean, that's like, he'll do that like maybe once a month or something like that. But, I mean, from Kristoff. I mean, it seems like even when he was playing with the Wizards, I mean, it seems like he was putting up 25, 30 points, at least, twice a week whenever they played. So
you guys did mention a good thing. He is injury prone, but if he can stay healthy, he could be possibly one of the biggest additions made this offseason, and it was quite under the radar.
Super.
When
quiet.
everyone was talking about the Celtics and the move they made in the offseason, everyone was focused on Drew Holiday, which is what they gained, and then, of course, they lost the actual point guard that ended up going to Dallas, Marcus Smart. But Drew Holiday was the actual main storyline. Kristaps Porzingis kind of slipped in under the radar unnoticed. I didn't even know he had went to the Celtics.
Sorry, Marcus Smart went to Memphis.
Yes, he went to Memphis. That's right. But Porzingis, his nickname was the Unicorn when he first came in there, and I finally think if he can stay healthy, that the league has actually caught up to his game. And what I mean when I say that is he's a long, lanky person that could put the actual ball up from the outside on the three. That's the direction big men are going. Big men are going in that particular direction right now, and he is perfectly fitted for it. Not only did he put up good numbers, he put up good numbers at very, very good shooting percentage.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you actually noticed that.
Yeah, I did see that. Oh, I forgot what it was, but I think he only missed probably 6 shots, if that. It was something crazy.
It was a very high shooting percentage. So that's the. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Slim.
That's consistent. I mean, if you watch Kristaps, if he gonna play 30 minutes, he gonna get you 20 points.
Yeah,
exactly.
If he gonna play 35 minutes, he gonna get you a double.
Right.
And there's gonna be some wild factors in there, a couple dunks, some swag.
Yeah, I really like his game, and I hope it really works out for the Celtics. I like to see the Celtics compete in the East this year.
That's why I was excited when I did see that he was coming up.
I was coming back. I was coming back there. But we ain't leaving there.
Back to Porzingis real quick, and then we'll jump to Jalen. The reason why I was excited to see Porzingis come over is because I was saying, I watched what he did with the Wizards, even with him hooping with Kuzma a little bit last year. He just seemed like Porzingis has the game figured out. He knows what style of player he is, and he doesn't kind of stray away from that. If he knows he's going to shoot a 3, he's going to shoot a 3. If he knows he needs to get inside the paint and play inside the paint, if he knows he needs to be by the free throw line and shooting from there, getting those 2-point baskets, he'll do that. He'll play some defense. He's just an overall good player, and he's consistent, and that's what I liked about him watching him play. Anytime I used to bet on him, I mean, he would consistently hit his mark that I needed him to hit. So I was excited when he came over. But we could talk about Jalen and his lackluster performance.
So real quick, Slim, before I let you jump in on Jalen Brown, if I'm not mistaken, just signed a huge contract.
Yeah, one of the biggest contracts.
I never understood that. I never understood Jalen Brown. People say Jalen Brown is talented, and I'm not saying he's not talented. He's obviously an all-star. But as far as demanding and receiving the type of payday that he received, I didn't get that. I thought Celtics could have been better served doing a trade for a player of similar or equal talent, and then using the extra money that they would have saved getting another player. But they ended up opening an actual checkbook for Jalen Brown, and I think they're going to regret it, man. I just don't see Jalen Brown ever becoming valuable enough to that team that justifies the money that he signed for.
It's going to be tough for him to become valuable when you have 2 guys already giving you 30.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's going to be hard. It's going to be the ball share. So what's going to either have to happen is someone's going to have to get on that second team and go crazy.
Yeah. What you think about Brown?
I mean, when you get that kind of money, you got to be the best player on the team, right?
Yeah,
you should.
So when I watch the Boston Celtics, Jalen Brown not the best player on their team.
Oh no, definitely not.
No, I don't see it. I really don't.
At least not this game. We'll say this game. He might.
And the season don't start in the case he realized it or not. And he not. I don't know where his mind at, but you
better find it, huh?
$300 million, man. Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. I'll be listening to KG. It'll be a lot of pressure come with that, man. Maybe he's trying to let Jason Tatum get his thing going off. He's trying to figure out his role, but on the outside looking in, he better hurry up.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He's not gonna have long before the conversations start happening on a consistent basis. Yeah. So one other quick thing I want to talk about here before we leave, and I didn't even create a graphic for it. I kind of regret that I didn't, because I knew I was going to talk about this particular topic, and we're not going to go in very deep detailed. But I definitely wanted to see exactly if anyone had any opinions or any words on the whole Dwight Howard controversy.
That's a nasty man.
So Dwight Howard, I mean, because I don't want to offend anyone,
right?
But Dwight Howard is going through a legal battle, and with trying to defend himself against the accusation that he was inappropriate sexually with another individual, he had to kind of disclose some of his preferences.
Right.
And in those preferences, there was just like a lot of storylines associated with it. Storylines that I think some people were already suspicious of whatever, and I don't know if suspicious is the right word, or assuming. Yeah, let's say assuming. So, with that all being said, it kind of justifies some people's concern about having Dwight Howard on their program as far as being problematic and stuff like that. So it's just an interesting story. Even though he's not in the NBA anymore, he's still arguably a top 100 player of all time. I think it's not really an argue. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's definitely going to be in the actual storylines until this whole thing is resolved. And, I would ask that everyone, just kind of understand that everyone has the ability or the right to live their life the way that they want to live it, but also understand that if you live your life in the spotlight, people are going to talk about it.
Right. It's one thing to live your life how you want to live it, but when you start running into legal trouble, then it's just okay. Yes. You need to check yourself at the door, type of thing. It's one of those types of things. So, like, I don't have an issue with him doing whatever he wants to do, but like I said, when it comes to you're intruding on people's, you're intruding on people's justices in a sense. You're taking in a sense from people. Then that's when it becomes an issue. But I mean, he defended himself. He didn't defend the actual accusations. He just defended his
that he didn't commit a crime.
Yeah, he didn't commit a crime in a sense, as in because I watched on I think it was IG today when he was just saying that, I mean, it's his business what he does in the bedroom in a sense,
which
I you can't argue it. But when I was discussing it with a couple of my friends, I was saying, yeah, that's not the issue. The issue is when you start, like you're taking from people, or whatever the accusations are. When you get into legal trouble doing what you want to do in the bedroom, that's when it becomes an issue.
Exactly. Exactly. You had any opinions or anything to add to that, Slim?
Does he still call himself Superman?
To my knowledge is it's going to be, I think this thing is, we're going to learn a lot more through the whole process here. Ultimately, I would assume this thing is going to be settled. I think that's the best thing for him. But
we all knew Dwight Howard was a character.
Yes, without question.
Does surprises me right now.
Yeah. There are some very concerning highlights of Dwight Howard's actions while he was in actual league.
Oh, for sure.
As stepping over some boundaries.
Dwight Howard went overseas in that international play, got like 100 points and 80 rebounds and 60 blocks in one game.
Do you think he can still play on a NBA roster?
Oh yeah,
definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
now, with all this extra stuff that he got going on, trying to bring attention and clickbait to himself to create extra money, I don't know if the NBA want to entertain all that stuff.
No.
He may be the new Dennis Rodman.
I could see it.
Rodman was kind of
wild.
Wild like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see it.
Like I said, I feel like he could definitely play in the NBA. I mean, he just went overseas against professionals, man. Scored 100 points.
100?
He got like 60 rebounds and like 30 blocks. I'm not making it up.
In one game?
In one game. Look it up. He did that in maybe his first 2 or 3 games over there.
Yeah, he was putting up some huge numbers. And I think he still could come in and put in some serviceable minutes for the right team. Will he get the opportunity to do so, though?
Sound like a fantasy game, don't it?
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, I don't know if he would get the opportunity to do it though, but I think he definitely could. Hey, Slim, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. We're hold on one second, Slim.
One more thing. We have to talk about Wemby, his first game in the NBA.
All right, give us the stats.
It started off real bad.
Okay.
It started off real bad. I want to say he going into the third or fourth quarter, he only had 6 points.
Wow.
And he had four fouls. He ended the game with like 22, I think.
Okay.
And he was playing with 4 fouls. No, sorry, he was playing with 5 fouls.
Really?
Yeah, it was something to see. It was actually insane because I bet on him to get 21 points, and it was literally in the fourth quarter. I was like, oh yeah, this is chalked. Literally that fourth quarter, he came alive. I don't know what I won't talk bad about him again. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I didn't catch the game. Did you?
He's a talent for sure. Like
I watched
the way he just clicked on, it was actually kind of scary. It was wild to watch.
Wow, did you catch that game, Slim?
Watched it. First half, just like Kyle said, he was trash. Second half, you know, he came in. You know, I'm gonna say this about him. Mm-hmm. He made a lot of unnecessary bad fouls. Mm-hmm. A lot of bad fouls. He gotta learn not to. You know, you're the superstar. You ain't gotta take those fouls.
Facts.
Got you.
You know, other than that, second half balled out, man. He's generational talent. He's like a walking KD.
I've seen him. I've seen some of his plays. I didn't see this particular game, but I've seen him, and I've thought, man, this is going to be pretty interesting if he could put everything together. Mm-hmm. The biggest concern is I don't think is him putting his game together on the floor. I think the talent, he's a natural player in a lot of ways. I've seen him like handle the ball like players that are significant short of them and like crossing them up. So he has like some natural ability, some instinctive ability to handle the ball, which is crazy for a man his size. My concern is he going to be able to stay healthy? Because that's a lot of like you know, a lot of frame to actually keep, you know, healthy with, you know. But the game is not as physical as it was back in the day, and that works in his favor. Because back in the day he would have no shot at staying healthy. Players are definitely protected a lot more, as well as when they're offensive. You can't get up under them when they're doing jump shots, things of that nature. So I think that works in his favor, and we'll see exactly if he can remain healthy the rest of the season. If he does, I think he's gonna. I think he's clearly gonna be Rookie of the Year.
Great organization.
Yeah, and a great organization.
Oh yeah, he's gonna do numbers over there.
All right, man. Slim, we're going to let you go, man. We're wrapping up for today, but I appreciate you coming in. Hey, y'all, thanks for watching this again.
Last thing, appreciate it. Last thing, pray for Maine.
Pray for Maine, yes. Oh, definitely pray for Maine. All right, guys.
Definitely. Peace.
How you talking opinions, but where your facts at? I think it's time that we pull up and do a fact check. Home again, we calling you to the circle. I'm tired of hearing the bull. I'm questioning your discernment, Like how you question the people that's really earned it. The people